This is Dukascopy webinars. We have a team of expert analysts and retail traders who host a number of daily webinars focusing.
There I am. Okie dokie. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Not sure why it wouldn't let me see, but now I do see. I can see, you can see, we all can see. All right, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Just another fun-filled week. Let's see what's going on here. What do I have up there? I think I have the Europa up there. Yes, I do, and it's trading above the 16 number, isn't it? Let's find that mouse. There it is. All right, traders, let's take a peek and see. And there it is right there. Oh, and there's the spreadsheet. So I can see it all. All right, now let's get over to, where is it at? Let's get the, let's see it. You can see it on J4X. Let's go see what it looks like on, oh, we need to go to Duke Day. File, open, workspace, Duke Day. Week 4X. There we go. Let's get it in the house. All right. Doesn't look like anybody around today. Everybody's already heading for the cocktails. It must be. You know, it's heading for the. It's not the afternoon yet. Is it the afternoon? Yeah, it's afternoon in Europa, and everywhere else on the planet, it's heading for Saturday. So it's like they've already said like what I'm saying right now. It's like I think I'd like to enjoy the weekend. I think that's where their heads are at this point. And so here we go. All right. What can I say about this, about that? There it is right there. Now, what is that? Oh, that's a NASCAD. Is that NASCAD? No, it's NAS dollar. Let's find the Europa on there. There it is right there. And a little it's curving over. That's interesting. And it's doing the same thing here with our fast-moving stochastic. You can see the slow-moving stochastic, which is in the dashes. Probably I should turn that into a white line too. I don't know, but I guess what it is that the rate of change should be changed, so I can say, oh, you can see these two lines moving up, that type of thing. Make it a little bit easier. You can see lots of green there, matching up to our green dots, which is really cool. See that? Look at it. We found this is what happens when someone asks a question. Someone asked a question, was it this week or last week? I think it was last week now, right? And the next thing you know, we come up with another tool because they asked a technical question about technical analysis, you know, indicators and so forth. They asked the question, and we discovered that we could utilize the Hinky-Ashi to match up almost over 75% to my green and red dots. Now, that's what happens, traders. When you ask a question, you never know what the answer may be. Let's put it this way. It will never be belligerent. Doc will never give you a belligerent response back. No question is stupid. The only difference is that some questions may have very short answers, and some may have medium answers, and some might be longer answers. That's it. But they'll never be belligerent. There are no stupid questions when dealing with money. Okay? And that's really important. And I really hope people ask questions. And it's cheaper by the dozen as far as I'm concerned. In other words, ask as many questions as possible. We'll pack them into this webinar for an hour. And where we end up, you never know. Another tool that will make us all a better trader? I think so. I think that's a better thing than no questions and everybody just sitting back and watching. Just say hi. You know, just anything is cool, you know, as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, here we go. Giannis was telling me something. I think it was Giannis was saying to me something a couple days ago. He said that I have the longest streaming watches, I think, more than anybody else. In other words, people, when they do tune in, they stream longer and watch. There may not be a lot, but they're a long stream. You know, in other words, they stick around for a long while because I guess things start to make some sense, and some people go, wait a minute, that makes more sense than usual. That's not as if I can make a lot of sense all the time. There's no doubt about that. I am wild and woolly, crazy child. But that's where we go. All right, so let's take a look at it. We're at the euro. Let's let me move that over a little bit. See how that looks. I can move that over a little bit more. Let me just double check. There it goes there. A little bit more, and you can see the fact check Excel sheet. And line 14, we are now on 9 weeks in a buy and 8 days in a buy. So 54 if you're listening. Not to drive you crazy, but please have yourself hedged. I've been begging. I hope you're hedging yourself and not fighting the math. Don't fight the math. Because anytime I fight the math, I lose the money. So don't fight the math. Stock indices? Sure, Robin. How you doing this morning? How was the ribs and beer? Was it beer? Pizza. Ribs and pizza. Robin was out with a few other traders last night. And I'm sure we had a good old time. We did our charts really quick and fast and got them out the door a little bit earlier than normal. And didn't hurt anybody. That's as good, because sometimes, going into the last minutes of some of these products, the math changes out of nowhere on you. And then all of a sudden we're sending stuff out that's why we send it out later, because we must make sure that everything, and you can see me every so often I have to change the spreadsheet. Didn't I have to do that for, what did I have to do that for yesterday? Somebody, somewhere, one of these products, it was in a buy still, and it shouldn't have been in a sell, because we took a look at it and got it right at the close, and it had not fully adjusted and so forth and so on. But anyway, wings and pizza. Sounds like a good old diet to me. Yum, yum. All right, let's go take a look at the stock indices. Let's go take a look at NASDAQ, because I did see something going on with NASDAQ that well worth, or it's called the Tech 100 here on Dukascopy, right there on J4X. And there's the Tech 100. And that is line also right there. Look at that. I looked at it, it was 16 weeks, really not 15 weeks. And it went into a daily sell there yesterday. You can see it's having its pressure there now. This is the daily chart. And let's take a look at it through our eyes. In your eyes, the lightning. Oh, yeah. Groove on. And there it is right there. And as you can see, we've been in a weekly buy since right there. And look at that. It's playing with the weekly sell. So today's going to be interesting. We're going to see if this thing will turn back up. Also, I even posted that on Parler, which is a competitor now to Twitter. I did that this morning. First time I put a chart up on Parler. And I said something about that. We'll see what happens there. Matter of fact, I'll show you the chart I put up there. I thought it was kind of cool. Can we do this? I guess we can. Let's see. There it is right there. I'm going to show you. It's a new. Let's see how we do that. Like that there. There it is. Parler right there. And I put on there something like markets this week are in the normal summer chop, but we see that quant warnings we see a quant warning just the same. And then I wrote on the chart there about, you can see right there, it says, whoop, lost that. How did we lose that? There it is. And you can see on the chart, let me show you how I have the chart. Where's that at? Is it right there? I think it's right there. Right there. There it is. No, not that. And then this is with the warning I put up there. That's a little bit clearer. You can see that. I think that's it's in the wrong spot. Now we go to there. That's the chart I put up there. Look at that. It gave a good little warning there. Matter of fact, Robin, this might be the thing we put on that magazine, because look at that. It's I cleaned it up with not all the buys and sells on the daily, just to make it simpler for people to see. It's making a threat to close into a weekly sell this week. So we'll see what's going on there. Anyway. Let's see. Let's go back to what Robin had me on. There it is. There's the normal chart. See, it's playing with it right there. So traders, be careful there. This stock index is showing some a little weakness, even with it being the summer chop. And I can't tell you how many times since 1982, we've watched this characteristic occur. We saw in 1982, we saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average drop from, was it 900? It was back at, it was up at, it was trading at 900. The index, not 9,000, not 29,000. It was trading at 900, and the Dow fell down to 779 in the same time period, starting off in this week in July of 1982. Fell down to, which was a big move. It was like a 10% move, And here we were trading at going into, or I don't know, maybe it had started to sell off earlier. I don't know. I don't remember now. But I remember going into the first week of August, the second week of August. I remember in July, we're just standing down there. The thing's trading at 797, 779 low one day, which is a pretty big move back then. It's like a 100-point move today, or a 150-point move today. It's more like a 200-point move today, I guess. And it's sitting there. We're on the trading floor. It's dead. I'm talking dead. People were going to lunch. We never went to lunch when we were on the trading floor. We ate on the floor. And, we worked. It was busy. Even with a Dow that was trading at 1,000 points, it was like rock and roll city, man. Everything was growing. It was wild. It was busy. And, those couple of weeks, I remember that. It was 1982. The market was dead as doornails. I mean, it was dead. And we're watching this thing pulsate like this now, in some ways, just kind of back and forth. It looks like Turkish lira, really dead. Quad Z, what's happening? And so then, and then they had passed the law, the Reagan, Kemp something bill. The House of Representatives passed the Kemp Roth bill. I don't know, something like that. They passed something, Kemp something, and Kemp was a Republican, and I forget who the Democrat was. Roth was I think a Republican senator out of Delaware, but it was a Kemp something bill. They passed that, and what it did is it cut the taxes and created write-downs lower. It was part of the Reagan Revolution. He'd gotten elected in 1980. Took office in 81, and the market ran to 1,000 from 700 and something. Incredible move, 25% move. Sold down to 700s again. It was August. It was dead. July, August. It was dead this time period. They passed the bill or something like that, and the stock market doubled in like, I don't know, 5 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. It went to 1,200, 1,500, something like that. It did something like that. It jumped to like 1,200 from 700 in a matter of weeks. Everybody was like, "What goes up must come down." This is all bullshit. This is not, well, obviously it wasn't bullshit, because obviously now we're trading at what, 26,000 now. So obviously it meant something. Hey Doc, have a question regarding the calls and puts. Where do I find these on J4X? I know they have the binaries on there, and I'm not exactly sure where. Maybe somebody else can jump in and help us, but I'd like to know where it is again. I forgot. I used to do it on the simulation, and I'm trying to find. I'll look around with you. Let's see. Accounts maybe, and then let's see. It's in the binaries. So what we want to do is we want to look up binaries, and then what we can do is maybe Giannis or someone. Matter of fact, why don't I do this? Let me ask them about the options on there, and right now, and let's see if we can find them. Since you asked, let's find the answer. Let's see. Let's find out. Let's see. Not that. I'm going to go there, and we'll find you the answer, and then we can take a look at them together. Like I said, I know they'd have the binaries. There's Giannis. Let's see. Let's see if we can get Giannis to chime in. On J4X, where are binary options or option chain someone is asking on webinar. Okay, Yano says we have both. Martingale plus. He's checking now. We'll get the answer for you. See what I mean? If I don't know where something is, I can find a way to get to it. That's the whole key there, traders. Matter of fact, I've been talking with somebody who wants, get this one. We may find another tool. Someone has asked me over the last couple days if I can isolate the OSM out of the MACD. They want to just use the OSM itself. That may replace the, if I can figure that out, that may replace the, what do you call it, the rate of change on there. Okay, here's Janos now on the chat line. There we go. We offer binary calls and puts, not the classic ones Doc just wrote me. Okay, read through that section. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so Janos has it on there now. You can go to dukascopy.swiss/engli and get it from there. And they're not available to all clients. There's another platform. Okay, that's the answer to that. I hope that helped you out there, Quad Z. So, I see. Excellent. Okay. Janos, way to save the day. I like that. Thank you. Cool. All right. Now we know. Now I can also give that answer to other people in other webinars, because I've been asked a couple times about hunting down options on, I think Daniel asked me that 2 days ago. We were doing so many different things that day, and Daniel asked me that, and I mentioned the binaries, but I didn't take it any further. But today, there's no way in the world I can have that question asked twice and not be able to resolve it. I gotta resolve it. So that's cool. Way to go, Janos. Bravo. As we do in physics, we do the clapping after every, someone reading their paper or defining a theory. We do the clapping always. Alrighty. Let's jump back. I hope that answers everything there, Quad Z. And what we'll do now is, where did we leave off? Oh yes, so we're looking at the I guess we're done with that. That's the warning. So traders, watch out on this stock indice. It's trying to break down on us. So it's the Tech 100 on J4X there, traders. It's been in that buy for weeks upon weeks now. 15, 16 weeks. So it's the first time that I've seen it in the minus in a while. On a Friday, none. I don't think. It's been like Wednesday or Tuesday and then come back, So here's a Friday. So it's definitely a warning sign that we need to all pay attention to. Alrighty, let's head. If anybody else has any questions, fire them out. If not, I will. Robin hasn't said anything about his wings and pizza. What kind of pizza did you have? Deep dish? Your classic Chicago? Robin's out in Chicago. Or was it thin? And how about the wings? What flavor were they? Now you're making me hungry. Let's jump over to cable. We just got done the euro. We'll look at cable. But if anybody asks a question, we will stop and go to the question. And there's cable. 27s. I think we were talking about 28, right? At least the 28s or 30 area. You can see that it's still moving up. That's on the fact check sheet. Dun, 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 dun. Line 13. 4 days in a buy, cruising along with that 1 weekly buy. So it's been a good trade there. Nice. What else can we say about the cable? I wonder if it's got, and you would think because of the way silver's roaring that it would be taking off. So are these equivalent future spread combo on what Interactive Broker does? I would think that they're spot. And we do both in the States here. We do options on cash and we do options on futures. And I like the options on cash better, but the margin's higher. Dukascopy is probably lower. It's just classic, American, Securities Exchange Commission, Commodities Futures Trading Commission margin situation. Very expensive. So, we'll we'll go from there. I think that's the best way to describe that. You guys hear all the thunder? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We got rain. So yeah, that's the cable. Now let's just take a quick look because cable is sterling, they say. So let's take a look at silver at the moment just to see what it's doing today. I saw it going sideways a little bit or down a little. Nothing major. I mean, they made another new high late in the afternoon yesterday. Nighttime for everybody else. So you can see there it's dipped down a little bit on the silver. Let's see what else we got to say about that. Right there. You can see it there. It's pretty much unchanged. There you go. And that's what we're looking at there is, I guess, sterling. Is sterling going up partially because of silver? I mean, that's a possibility right there alone. But that is a nice move since we went into the buy. Look at that. I mean, where are we at in the buy on silver? Back in here. And Robin and I wrote an article for that one. So, not as if we're writing War and Peace or anything like that. They're very small articles, just talking about the quant and the way it's reading the signal. That's all we really do. But it's insightful. It gives us clear. Gives a lot of people clear direction. So probably the choice of front and back is not available in Dukascopy. No, I would think that both would be. Yeah, if they have regular options, which Janos says they do, then and it's a different platform. So then what happens is that they would have all the option chain. I'm sure they do. And like I said, I actually prefer cash options to some extent more. They have a tighter market normally. Not that the exchanges in the States haven't done a better job at it. They have. But, option trading is just not as prolific as we used to think it was going to become back in the 70s and the 80s. We thought by the 90s or the turn of the century, everybody would be actively trading options, not the hard deltas. And hard deltas would be like just traded differently. Instead, they trade stock like it's like an option, and they trade options like it's a stock. It's really weird, very strange. Daniel, there you go. Did you see that? Didn't you ask about? You asked about the options a couple days ago, didn't you? Let's see. There's Daniel. Let's see what Daniel says. And TGIF to you, Daniel. JPY up 6/10. Euro up 15/10. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Yen up and Euro, GBP, and Swiss up 0.15%. AUD up 14%. 0.14%. NAS down. Yeah, that's with that oil too, isn't it? And CAD kind of neutral. To be exact, JPY up 0.69, which is divine. Cool. So it's really running, right? Let's take a look at that. Let's check out let's take a look at the dollar yen. Right there. Whoa. Yowzer. Now, we're like, look at that on our fact check sheet, right? Look at that, baby. 16 days in a trend now. 16. It hasn't really gone anywhere. Yesterday I was mumbling about that. Not really going anywhere from it all. But boy, did it finally, it must have heard me and just smack-a-doodled. And 5 weeks in the sell. Let's take a look at it over here. Not there, Doc. Not there. Are we there yet? There we go. So we've been in the sell since back in here on this sell-off week. And, yeah. And basically, and then I guess we could steal one of these. Or I guess, yeah. We can grab, well, let's put one up there. So went into the daily sell, went into the daily sell here. And at the end of that week, it went into the weekly sell. Right? No, wrong. It went into the weekly sell, daily sell and weekly sell there. That's what it was. And it did a nice little move for about 7 days, and then it turned around and ripped us up. And then, but it did give us a buy signal to warn us, so it didn't rip us up. And then it went into a sell again, and it was a malaise, a slow, steady burn. Look at that until yesterday. What do you think the smackadoodle about that was, Daniel? You have any opinion? All I know is that more sellers than buyers, I guess you could say there. And so then the others are making a little bit, less of a move up, right? So I guess it's just that tightness. I don't usually pay attention to percentages. I just look at the raw numbers. But percentages are important, I guess, on some level. It's just that they move so big nowadays compared to what they used to do. So, it's definitely something to think about there. What else can we say about the yen? I don't have a yen for the yen. I used to say that all the time. I never really liked trading the yen. I traded in the pit once in a while just to execute something, or but I never really liked trading in the pit. I don't know. I found the yen slow moving in many ways, and I traded yen when it was like 600 a yen, 600 yen to the dollar, 500 yen to the dollar. At one time it was that much. I wonder if we can go back to 1980. Let's see if we can do that with a monthly chart on this thing. Or quarterly. Can we do a quarterly? Does this thing do quarterlies? Let's do a monthly for sure. Let's see how far back it goes. I don't think it goes back 30, 40 years. It would be so cool if it did. Yeah. It used to be... I wonder if we could get a chart up there that shows you. The yen used to be... I remember trading the yen at 400 yen to the dollar. I remember 500 yen to the dollar. Things like that. The yen used to be like through the roof. I guess that's when they had a real healthy economy. Now it's like on life support or something like that. It's like in stasis. It's kind of like one of those sci-fi movies. Japan is in stasis. I think more people die than are born. I think more people are in diapers. No, I don't know. More people wear diapers that are over 75 than under 1. I don't know. There's some really weird stats that are not very good for civilization in Japan, So, let's see. U.S.-China spat escalates. Maybe that has to do with something. When indices crash, usually dollar-yen goes down too. Yeah, that's why we were looking at that GBP JPY thing. Let's see what that's doing. So I guess it's going up at the moment, which is usually a confirmation of continuity on the election or something like that. I think that's how we've interpreted that. Let's see what it's doing on here. GBP JPY. So that's moving down too. It's holding on barely with its little greeny things. And you can see over here, we've got a little red dot developing today right there. It's trying to slide into the old sell, but it's very high up on the weekly, so nothing real exciting going on there. But that's a good opinion, idea there, statement. I like that, Daniel. If AUD is weakest versus dollar, then the AUD JPY fell the most today. Okay. Interesting. You want me to throw a chart up on that? We'll do that. You're talking, you're asking, why not? AUD JPY. Right there. Oh, yeah, that's a monthly, too. Let's get back to the daily there. There we go. Yeah, it's been running high and steady up. And then, do we have that on here? Are we there yet? AUD. I know I have two AUDs in here. I'm not sure. There it is, right there. And it's trying to roll over there too. Looking just like the J4X. See, the two of them are marching together. We got the J4X starting to act a lot like our work, which is really nice. We're like 75% on the dots. We're like 60 some odd percent on the lines. That's pretty damn good to get it that close. You know, we're really happy with that. There's the Quad Z. Quad Z says, so in J4X, the rollover happens by default when a product comes to expiration. In case of interactive brokers, the future spread combo has to be sold in case of... Yeah, you know, the American brokers are a little odd in the way they do things. They're not the best, that's for sure. Is that how it will work? The rollover in options? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they... I guess they would ask permission to do that, to do a rollover. You know, like, you know, I think I've seen things like that where they say... They'll do it in the futures too for you, I think, if you put the order out there. There's a lot of different orders. You know, that's half the reason why they destroyed the exchanges here in the States, was to remove all the expenses of execution. At the same time, it destroyed liquidity. So you can pay less now for your trades, and at the same time, you have very much more illiquid markets, which means you pay more for your trade at the same time in price. So instead of paying, let's say, you know how we measure things in kilos or pounds, when commissions were a little bit more expensive, or were more expensive no matter how much you measure it by, what happened was you were paying less a kilo or a pound for the item. Now the commissions are almost non-existent, and you pay more for a kilo or a pound. Okay, see, it worked in reverse. Yano says, put in CC. Okay. So better ask the guys at support at Dukascopy. And Yano says, that Swiss system is quite different. Yeah, better. Try the word better than American. Details. Put in CC. I will then poke a guy who should know for sure. Thank you, Giannis. Way to go. Compile all the questions. And that's why we have problems trading foreign products in the United States, because we have an antiquated accounting system. So we got all the... It's almost the same thing as I was describing with commissions versus liquidity. So they destroyed the commission structure to make it cheaper, and now our liquidity is incredibly wide. So, you know, when I go to buy 50,000 or 100,000 shares of something, when I was young, it was easy to get filled. Now, when they changed the commission structure, when I went to go buy the same quantity, if I wanted to buy 100,000 shares of, say, spiders or diamonds or Qs or something like that, I only could get like 50,000 shares at the price I wanted, and I have to go chase after it with another 50,000, and there was a delay, and it was a pain in the neck. So that's what I mean. And the accounting system in America is really whacked out, corporate accounting. And that's the excuse why we're not allowed to trade foreign brokerage accounts and so forth. And foreign products. And we have these, you know, ADRs and SDRs and all this other stuff going on. It's just a pain in the neck. You know, the Securities Exchange Commission and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission are set up to satisfy not the public, but to make it look like they are protecting the public, when in fact they're only protecting the insiders. That's all they're doing, really. And supposedly catching bad guys. Supposedly. I see a lot of bad trades going on, and I never see them being condemned for it. So, I don't know. And that's the way that I'm complaining about it. So, that is what's going on there. Where are we now? Okay, yeah, so we're looking at AUD yen. Yeah, see the pressure there. And look at it. It was in a weekly buy for... Okay, went into a weekly sell that week. You can see the hesitation and then went back into a daily buy, and the following week went into a buy and then caught the whole move up. And then the last time, let's just go back a little bit further since we can see this visually like that and see when it was in it, when it went in. Okay, so that's where it is. We were looking at it. It went into the weekly buy here in the 70s, or was in the 60s, right? 67, 68 area, and traded all the way up to the 76 area. 67. So it went over 11, I don't know, 11 handles, 12 handles, something like that. So the trade-off is that the choice probably of front and back doing rollover. Yeah, they probably give you a choice. I can't imagine them just doing it automatedly, and so forth. I'm sure everything is done right, and like I said, I trust the foreign brokerage houses just as much as the U.S. ones, or better. A lot of times, the U.S. brokerage houses are just really incompetent on some levels. Well, hell, look at what they do. They allowed volatility funds. There were brokerage houses that allowed that. That was the Securities Exchange Commission that allowed that. That was the Commodities Futures Trading Commission that allowed that, to allow 4 or 5 major volatility funds to wreak havoc in our markets. Those markets wouldn't have gone the Dow would not have gone swinging 1,000 points, 1,500 points in a day if it wasn't for those things to be allowed to be done. Okay? Very bad. Very bad. Did it really protect us? No. You know who protected us? The Fed had to come in and save the day. I didn't see this. I didn't see the Securities Exchange Commission finding a way to resolve those 1,000-point moves. We had to go through a slow, steady burn of destruction because of it. You know? I don't see that at all. And they allowed them to do the same things over on the commodity side or on the future side. So I don't see how they're protecting. It's the Fed that's protecting us away from the Fed protects us from the SEC and the CFTC stupidity. That's what they're protecting us from. This marketplace should not have been the way it is. This is wrong. Public funds should not be allowed to sell naked puts. There's no way in the world they're supposed to be. The money's supposed to be protecting retirees, pension funds, retirement investments. How the hell are they selling naked puts? That's like telling automobile drivers, oh, not only don't you have to buy car insurance, that you're allowed to go sell car insurance even without a license to sell insurance. That's exactly what that's all about. That's what Doc is always frustrated with. What a bunch of stupidity that is. Okay, anyway, I'm off my soapbox on that one. All right, let's go to the next product there. Let's go take a look at the Turkish lira. See if it's still in stasis. Yeah, it's still in stasis. Whatever deal's going on there, I can't wait to hear the story when it finally comes out. That is one interesting looking thing going on there. Let's throw it up on J4X. Yeah, so all you automobile drivers, if you don't want to pay for car insurance, don't. I know. Now you got me all fired up. Don't pay for car insurance. Why should you have car insurance? It's your car, right? Who cares? You might have a loan on it. Who cares? How about if the other way around? What they've basically done is said, if you own your car and you don't owe money on it, you don't have to drive with car insurance. That's what they're saying. By allowing funds that are running public money to sell naked puts. That's exactly what they're doing. And these are supposedly the brilliant people of the Commodities Futures Trading Commission and the Securities Exchange Commission. This is their brilliance. Oh, yeah. You got cash? Sell naked puts. What the hell? No problem. Easy peasy. But instead, what do? They have these are pensioners. They let pensioners do this stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's protecting the public, all right. All right, where are we headed? We're heading to Turkish lira. That's how angry I get about that, how stupid that is, how dangerous that is. Yeah, look at that flat line. I think I got it out of my system. I feel better now. At least I will for the next 3 minutes. All right, that's what that is. Wow, look at that nice bounce. Look how well it went way down there just for that little move. And I think it did the same thing. Well, it didn't do it that much on ours, except for the fact that it did go minus for a day and then come back into a plus, and it was no dot, so it automatically went into the daily sell, and then boom, right back into the daily buy again. So that's kind of interesting there. I want to know what that story is. Who is doing that? Someone's doing that, and it ain't like like Dalio or something like that. It's not a fund. No fund can afford to do that. It's central banks that are doing that. No way in the world funds can afford to do anything like that. The U.S. system is providing the environment for the individual traders to have to educate themselves a bit more than the next transition in the online trading world, kind of off external change force. I think it's caveat emptor, the old saying on the dollar bill, buyer beware. So one moment they're really all pumped up about capitalism and it's buyer beware. And then the next moment, they are the thought police. So, I don't know where their heads are at this point, except for on the level of stupidity as far as I'm concerned. The trade-off is that the choice probably of front and back doing... Okay, yeah. So, yeah, Quad Z, that's exactly the way I see it. The U.S. system is providing the environment for individual traders to have to educate themselves. Yes. Yeah, continuing education with rules that are wrong. Exactly. In other words, the rules are set up. The rules are set up to use the products the wrong way. So that's exactly what's going on. The rules are set up by the two agencies in the United States to use the products incorrectly. That's exactly what's going on. I've been bitching about that since the 80s, and no one listens. And then you get these crazy moves. And then you get, even with the way they allowed the housing crisis, not the SAC, the government, the way the House of Representatives, the Democrats, allowed the collateralized debt obligations, the CDO disaster, to occur in 2006 and 7 and 8, and then finally hit the fan in 2008. Even with them allowing that to happen, and this was the House of Representatives, it was Barney Frank. I mean, he, it was all them. It was Dodd. It was, you can name it. Saint Germain back in 81. You can go on and on and on, with these Democrats and the way they are destroying the investment world in America. Hell, the rest of the world joined in and followed it, and look at it. They're underwater now. Europe is no competition anymore financially against the United States. At one time, Europe was competitive with us. They were competitive. Japan was competitive with us at one time or another. They're not competitive with us now. They're just shells of a shell of a system. That's all they are. I mean, look at it. When's the last time China or Japan seen an all-time high in their stock indices? A decade for China, 3 decades for Japan. And how about the DAX? Let's just take a look at that on J4X. Let's see how far back they can take us on J4X. Let's see what the DAX has done. I don't care if it's Zetra or whatever, just a DAX. Let's see. We'll take a look at that. It's here. I know I've looked at it. Right there it is, right there. Let's go back to a monthly. When's the last time that thing was at all-time highs? Did it go up there in January? It doesn't. Only goes back to 2014. On the DAX. So it did get there in January. It beat out that high, if that's an all-time high. I remember trading the DAX in the 80s. I can't remember what it was back then. Let me see if I can get a fix on that on another machine. Interesting continuing education. Always. I mean, when you have the rules set up that are going to put you in harm's way all the time, and at the same time the agencies claim they're doing the opposite, yeah, hell, you got to be like educating yourself all the time because they're dangerous. Actually, there's not much. Once you learn options and learn how to use options with your underlying product, it's a relatively simple thing to invest. It's not really that risky. You reduce your risk enormously and can have the same returns. Matter of fact, you have better returns because now you're not losing all your assets on a given day. Imagine if you didn't lose 33 or 35% of your assets in February and March. Instead, you only made 2% instead of losing 33%. Well, hell, then, when it looked like it was bottoming, right now you would be up like 25, maybe 22% or 23%. Not, not the opposite. I mean, the investors in the Dow Jones Industrial Average are still down whatever. The investors in the S&P 500 are still down whatever. Imagine if some of them actually sold down towards the bottoms and now are being forced to get back into. I mean, look at Dalio. Dalio walked around telling us to be short, right? For a year, he did it on TV all day long. He's a wacko. And what happened? He lost $28 billion in the sell-off. How do you lose $28 billion in the sell-off when you tell everybody you're short? I don't get it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Where's the SEC on that stuff? Why aren't they just like indicting him for something? For disseminating false information, lying about his fund, talking his book. Where is that? There's none of that. None of that's going on. I know I'm on a ramble about this, but Quad Z asks about education and so forth. It's not that hard to trade options with the underlying product. You can use selling calls against your long stock and buying puts, cheap puts. And at the same time, you can do that and roll them constantly and move them around so that your assets are growing. Me, zero hedge? Yeah, I like zero hedge. They complain the same way about it? I don't see that in zero hedge complaining about it all the time. But yeah, I do read zero hedge. I read a few things, Heritage Foundation, a few of those things, yeah. And I know better. I just know better. Yeah, zero hedge. They don't let go either. They're ripping into them also. Was he option? He was short option premium, probably puts. That's why he lost $28 billion. Yeah. I don't really read it. The comment section in Zero Hedge. I just read some of the stories. Some of them are like aliens just took over the McDonald's down the street, and then sometimes they come up with some really great stories that are totally right on target. And then the next thing you know, the next story is like 3 aliens walk into a bar from Mars and say give me anything that's green. Some of the stories that are in Zero Hedge are really wild. So. All right, where are we at? I can't. Does anybody know what the high of the DAX was? The all-time high. Are we looking at the all-time high? I don't think so. Wasn't it up in the teens, or 20? Wasn't it the DAX way up there somewhere at one time? I would love to see where the DAX was, in 2000 or something like that. Was it 10,000? I guess it was 10,000, right? I could have sworn at one point it was up in the 17, 18. I'll have to look it up. So, what is that website you were telling me about, Robin? That or someone, Daniel's one. Daniel, you use that website, something FinVix. Go see if you can find out where the all-time high is. Was it January this year? Take a look and see. That'd be interesting to see. See if it shows us the all-time high of the DAX. So let's see, where are we at now? Let's go back to there's the Turkish lira. Let's go take a look at the Canadian. See what the Canadian's doing today. CAD right there. And let's see. There's the CAD. Still moving down a little bit. Oh, that's a monthly. Okay. Let's go back to the daily. Still moving down. Nothing major going on. Where are we on that? On the the fact check Excel spreadsheet. Line 20. 7 days now on a sell. That's what that is. Okay. And then let's take a look at it through the Chicago Quant. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Now, why has that got a green line there? Where's the cell? The cell's right there, right? Steal that cell. Move that cell over to right there. So that's where the cell started. And that one couldn't go into a buy because it was a red dot. So it's been in the cell since then. And then it went into the weekly right there. Wait a minute. Yeah, it gets 2 weeks. What do I have on there? 5 weeks? Wait a minute. Do we have the right product up there? Yeah, we do. CAD. Okay, 20. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. So it just went into the weekly cell. There we go. All right, that makes sense. All right. What's it say? Oh yeah, that will with 3 aliens you can find it only on Neothon or Babylon B. Yeah, really. 3 visitors from a different solar system walk into a bar in Seattle. Let's see. The one with percentage is from. Yeah, but what do you know? Can you find what the actual high was? Onion, huh? I don't think I've. Every time I read something from the Onion, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's usually something like really weird. It's like, all of a sudden it reminds me of this. We have this club around here. It's over in Philadelphia. It's called the Philadelphia Cricket Club, and it's a golf course and an old cricket club. It's like a couple 100 years old, and friends of mine belong to it. Their families had belonged to it for like a century or two. And I remember one time back in the 80s, there was this political guy who was what was his name? He was like supposedly a libertarian, and I'm trying to think of his name, but he really wasn't. He was a communist, but he was trying to infiltrate the Democrat Party at the time. Lyndon LaRouche, that's it, Lyndon LaRouche, and so somebody invited Lyndon LaRouche to speak to the membership. And so, he comes in there. This is like he's not really known nationally yet, and he comes in there, and he's doing this dog and pony show thing with like half the membership there, if not all the membership. Right? Lyndon LaRouche, a libertarian. They think this during the Reagan years, and they think, oh my God, this guy's really sharp. He says some really interesting things. So they invite him in to speak, and he starts talking about the economy and talking about markets and so forth. And, he makes total sense, like the first sentence or two. Everybody's like, wow, this guy's really sharp, really insightful. And then like by the third or fourth sentence, he starts talking about Marxism and like, the Democrat Party and how they're getting closer and closer together, and they could, they can really lead America in the right direction. And now people are standing up and are like yelling at the guy, and they're walking out, because they're not, it's a money place, so they're not going to pay attention to him. They're just going to tell him he's he's full of whatever, and get up and walk out. And before you know it, it's like in that Stargate movie where like Daniel Jackson is talking about pyramids are set up for landing pads for alien spacecraft. And like, he starts to make sense about this dynasty and that dynasty. And like, he gets into the second paragraph and he starts talking about the pyramids were designed to be landing platforms for alien spaceships. And then everybody starts getting up and walking out, and he goes, oh, is there like a luncheon or something? And the room is totally empty now. It was the same thing at the Philadelphia Cricket Club for Lyndon LaRouche. By like the second paragraph, like the room was emptied out. Everybody just left. And they were all yelling at him at the same time as they walked out. And so every time I read The Onion, it's the same way. Every time I start reading The Onion, the headline makes a lot of sense. It's like, wow, that looks really interesting. And then I get in there and I read the first sentence, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. And then I get to like the second sentence, and it's like, wait a minute, no, that doesn't make any sense at all. And by you get to the third sentence in The Onion, not even the paragraph, you don't even get to the second paragraph, you're going like, what the hell are they talking about? And that's the way The Onion seems to go with me all the time. I never find anything in The Onion that makes any sense to me. I think I've seen one thing in I don't know how many years that has made any sense. So, and I actually pasted it on my Facebook at the time too. So there we go. All right, that's the CAD. Does anybody have anything they want to see before we get off? We got a few more minutes, and then we're going to go run away, TGIF. Let's go take a look at the Swiss, since that was what Daniel was looking at there. He said that thing was moving around too. Oh, they're smackadoodling that again too. Money's running to the Swiss and out of the dollar. Exacto presto. Right there, line 21. 8 full weeks in a... Whee! 8 full weeks in a sell. 5 days in a sell. Sell. Ever tell you about the trader, the put trader? Marty. I can't think of Marty's last name. He traded in Philadelphia and he traded at the Amex in New York. And I was a member at both places. And he used to live down here, so we would both commute on the Amtrak. And Marty would fall asleep, and he would say "sell" in his sleep. So it'd be like sleeping in the seat on the train, and he'd hear "sell, sell." I remember one time out to dinner with him and his wife, and she said that he says "sell" in his sleep at home also. Sell, sell. So let's see. Oh, yen. Let's do the peso to start off with, and then we'll go with the yuan if there's time. I deleted that one, the yuan. I cannot honestly keep that on the screen when it's not worth it. Where the Mexican peso is fine to pay attention to right there. Oh, we can put it in where the Nordic one is. Well, you can see the. Let's put it on here too at the same time. Let's go with dollar peso right there, and you can see it right here. We're going after a weekly sell today on that one. Daily's trying to go up, but we got red dots still. A green red dot yesterday and a red dot today, and it's trying to back off a little bit there. Let's see if we can widen that out for you so you have a better view of it. Like that. So it's having its issues there, and it's trying to get into a daily buy, but at the same time we're flirting with a weekly sell. And there it is on J4X, same time. Got a couple green bars trying to match up. I guess, is there a green? I think there's a green dot right there. Let's see. It's right there. Can we? Let's see if we can make that bigger. Yeah, there's a green dot there. Let's make the green dots there bigger. There it is. There we go. There we go. Now you can see it better. There's the green dot. That's why I didn't get into the daily buy yesterday. And you see how it opened and then ran up, and then now it's selling down, even with the line through the zero line and the histogram through there. You can see it's having its pressure point being pushed down. But if it's through there tonight on the close, we'll declare that a daily buy. But with the weekly in a sell, you're not going to be able to buy it anyway. So, I mean, that's where that is. You can see there's the sell. Where's the last sell? Can we move that thing? Or let's do the last buy. Last buy was there, right? And then it went into a buy there, and then failed the next day and went into a sell. Like that. And then a couple days down, and now it's doing the buy. And if it does close there, it will be in a buy, but the problem is that the weekly sell will be in the weekly sell. So you can't be long the product through the quant math education, however you want to describe it. So there it is there. Marty Schwartz. That sounds familiar. Option guy? Is he an option guy? There was a Schwartz. I remember a Schwartz option guy. Let's see. Okay, what's next? Oh, we're past the point of return. We got to run. Anyway, we'll do the yuan on Monday. Oh, let me see. Let me just throw it in there so you at least get a visual of it. All right? Let me do that. Where do I want to do? I'll go into the Nordic one, right? Let's go into that Nordic one. Where was it? I just saw a Nordic one right there. Let's just show you where it's at. I mean, it doesn't really move, so it's not exactly something you want to get too enamored with. There's no liquidity in the thing. USD. No, not there. It is right there. USD. And get rid of that. Remove. It's been in a weekly sell for a while since there. Daily's trying to bounce up. You can see that. but we're in a weekly sell. So, all right, traders, that's it. We will catch you on Monday. Me being less irate about the insurance people. Doc saying everybody have a safe and smart weekend, and we will catch you on the flip side. So, one more time, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all my